Hey E36 fanatics, Steven here. Today I'm working on my mom's BMW X5. Unfortunately, she has a coolant leak coming from her SUV. It's actually coming from the overflow tank. A little research, and apparently the BMW X5s, one of the issues with their cooling system is that they have early failure on their expansion tank. The expansion tank is pretty easy to remove. You have one hose at the top, then you have one at the very bottom, and two 10mm bolts. One is here, and then one is right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is go and remove these two 10mm bolts. Like I said, they're very easy to do. Just a 10mm. Alright, so once you got these two little bolts out, next you want to go ahead and pull this top hose out. BMW switched to these clips on the coolant reservoir stuff, or on the coolant stuff, and on a lot of their other sensors. Just pop it. Pops right out. And pops right off. Really easy, pretty easy to do, but I prefer the screw ones. Here is the new coolant reservoir. As you can see, it's got a min max inside of it, and at the bottom it came with a new temp sensor, temp level sensor. So if you buy this tank, sometimes it doesn't come with that though, so you might need to reuse your old one, which isn't a big deal. They rarely fail. Another fail point for the cooling system on these vehicles is the caps. If you have pulled off the cap and reinserted it several times, sometimes it'll do this on you, and the inner portion of it will completely break off. So you can see this is the new one that I got with the portion still still attached. Then this one, it just completely broke off the tabs. So I'm replacing this as well. Sometimes the tanks will come with a new cap, sometimes they won't. So if your cap's bad as well, I'd advise replacing it. Next thing you do, you got some wiggle room now. You're going to want to pull this reservoir up some so you can get to the bottom hose, which is down there. And that's going to be the more difficult one. If you want to flush your system, be my guest. I'm not going to do that for this. I'll just let some of the water drain out. It's not a big deal. Okay, so here's your bottom hose right here. It's a little bit more of a pain to get off. What I'll do, because you got to twist the reservoir a bit, so I'll take a screwdriver and I'll actually get this end right here and push it with the screwdriver. That'll push this whole clip out. Then get a finger on the back side of it and hold it in place while you pull out the reservoir. You might have to twist it a little bit, but once you got that, it'll pop right out. And before you twist it, you're going to want to remove your sensor, which is right here going to your temp sending unit. It's very easy to remove. You basically just press it in and pull. So at this point, you're ready to put back in your new reservoir. If you've got the new sending unit like I do, then you just leave it like it is. If you don't, to remove it, you just twist it and pull. Pops right out. Okay, so once you've got it back in place, see, the hose is back in place here. This is seated properly. You can go ahead and pop back on your top hose. There we go. That's all nice. Then we can go ahead and bolt it back in. Alright, so once you got everything back on, you're going to want to go ahead and throw some coolant in it. Refill it back up to between the min and the max, and then you're going to want to seal it up and run it for a bit. Let it cool, and look around for any coolant leaks just to make sure you got a good job. Look around for any leaks around the area, around the coolant reservoir. If you don't have any leaks or anything and the coolant levels around the min to the max, you're good.